Now, I understand that time is on the side of Roger Goodell. Right? Time is on the side of Roger Goodell. His season hasn't started. Their ability to pull off the draft, which there's no games. You don't actually have to have the human interaction, but it went off without a hitch. It's more the way in which Goodell handled it, much like he handles most things. You know, there's a certain part of your brain, and some people's is maybe bigger or more powerful and more part of their personality, and some people's it's a smaller part of their brain, of who they are, of their personality. And I don't even necessarily know if it's empathy. You have to listen to everyone, but that doesn't mean you have to hear everyone's complaint or everyone's wishes. As we wait and see with Adam Silver, and they're going to have a call tomorrow with all of the players in the NBA. Can you imagine that Zoom call? 450 current players in the NBA. They're going to have a call tomorrow for all NBA players. And this is a mistake. But this is who Adam Silver is, because Adam Silver has created a solid reputation as being a commissioner who not only listens to but hears the players. Listens to but hears the players. Now, look, you're going to have this at home if you're married, in that you're going to have to listen to and sometimes hear your wife, but sometimes you have to tune it out because you have to know what's best. The person who is the primary breadwinner, and it could be women in a relationship. Many of you might be a stay-at-home dad. I'm sorry if the dynamics are as such and you don't like it if you're a stay-at-home dad, but the fact is that you got to make money in order to survive. And so and that doesn't mean that every decision is made simply based upon the bottom line and how much money. But if there's a region of the country where you can have a job and you don't have one currently, or you can make substantially more, that's where you're going to live, whether you like it or not. And you just got to make it work. The NBA desperately, badly needs to be on air right now. As social media popular as the NBA is, the fact is their ratings have been down. And everything that's on TV right now's ratings are up because there's nothing else on. People would have you convinced, if you simply followed social media, that the NBA is closing in on the NFL and the NFL is a dying enterprise. When in fact, the NFL is the opposite, right? The NFL's numbers for a virtual draft were greater than that of all but 2 or 3 NBA regular season games. I mean, it's ridiculous. And you know, how many people who don't necessarily even like football play fantasy football, which is the hook. It fits into our schedule. It's better on TV. You know, it doesn't mean you want your kid to play it, but you still love it, love watching it. It's a part of who you are and what makes your city or what makes your team special. But some of that is also Roger Goodell, in that he's kept his eyes on the prize. Is it fair to the folks of Jacksonville that they've consistently lost games to London? Nope. But you know what? That's the way they create a new revenue stream, a different time of day to broadcast games. And it's the only way they can keep a football team in a market the size of Jacksonville. So deal with it. There is some ugliness to the sport of football, right? It's not all perfect. But the reason that Goodell not only kept his job through the Ray Rice thing and through some of these other missteps of NFL players, the national anthem controversy, they had a year where the ratings were down, right? They struggled with the Thursday night package. The Thursday night package was struggling. And you know what he did? He pared it down from 2 different networks to 1 network and got more money. If that's not leadership, if that's not business sense, I don't know what is. And whatever you think of the NFL and their plan to go forward, they're going to have a season, come hell or high water, starting at the exact same time they thought they were going to start, and they'll figure out whether or not all the fans, some of the fans, or none of the fans can make it. This this may sound odd, but I watched the Jordan documentary, and I've been told that 7 and 8, which come out Sunday, make the point even more clear. Goodell and Jordan actually have a good deal in common. And at the end of the day, he's going to win, right? He's going to walk out, and it wouldn't stun anyone if when he's finished being commissioner, for the first time ever, the NFL is on every major network. ESPN wants to move Monday Night Football back to ABC. It's already on Fox. It's on CBS. It's on NBC. Despite the fact that former players had a lawsuit where the NFL is going to have to pay out nearly $1 billion, and we would all conclude it is a really ridiculously dangerous sport, both while you're playing and then after you're playing. In spite of all of that, it'll be on 4 networks. The Super Bowl numbers continue to go up. Fantasy football makes it a ton of money. They're expanding into markets, not decreasing the market size. They're ahead of the curve in the new CBA, allows them to have legalized sports gambling in the stadiums where it's legal within that state. He's ahead on so many things. Meanwhile, Adam Silver is rightfully concerned about the health of his players, but so much so that it's overwhelming him in his inability to get his league to move forward and get to the playoffs, which would be well regarded, would spike the ratings, and would regrow the shrinking brand of the NBA. Look, I talked to somebody who is involved with the NBA, and he's like, look, Adam Silver is brilliant. He is a brilliant dude. He has a strong amount of empathy within his personality, within his brain, within his being. He is not a guy who you don't think, that's a great dude I just had a conversation with. But he's been so player friendly. Right? Players aren't businessmen. Some are, but by and large, the player's business is just that of a basketball player. Whereas the owners, as singularly focused as some of you may think they are, you don't have $1 billion or $2 billion or $3 billion or whatever $1 million if you haven't figured out how to consistently make it work through trying times, how to push through. And it doesn't mean you lack empathy, but you kind of quell that empathy in an effort to continue to make more and more money. Right? Like, you have to figure out a way to push through. And Silver just doesn't seem to have that bone yet. Hey, fellas, let's get back to work. Well, I don't know. Let's get back to work. I've just been told that he's lost that leverage, right? That the players expect to not only have him listen, but have him hear them and their concerns for their family. And look, the players, a lot of them, some of them have gotten all their money already. And many of them, while they would lose some money, like, what's the purpose of me coming back and playing? Instead of, and this has always been a clause for every commissioner in baseball and basketball and football, a commissioner can do something because it's in the best interest of the sport. Right? You can kick a guy out of the sport because it's in the best interest of the sport. You can get rid of an owner because it's in the best. It's the ultimate because I said so card that only parents know that they have, right? Why do I have to read right now? Because I said so. Why can't I have ice cream? Because I said so. Why do we have to open up all facilities in open states and even ones that aren't? I mean, look, go to the governors. Get them declared an essential business. This is not that hard. But because you have pushback from some people, Adam Silver has his eyes slightly off the prize. His job is not to make everybody happy. His job is to make the sport better. His job is to make more money for the owners and more money for the league, which allows the players then, in turn, to make more money. But by contrast, did you see the memo that Roger Goodell sent out? Did anybody see it? I mean, look, it told teams, don't comment, don't say nothing. You disagree? Don't care. Don't say a word. You know, Like, here's Goodell's power. They sent out a memo right before the draft. Don't anybody tip picks. Did anybody tip picks? Damn right they didn't. You know why? Because Goodell said so. Goodell's the parent that is the strong disciplinarian and does so for a reason. And his kids end up going to a good college, getting a good job. Silver's the one with super, super talented kids. Couple become entrepreneurs. One becomes a chef, drops out of college, goes to culinary school. Very talented, but kind of lacking vision and not crushing in the business world. That's you want to be an artist, that's cool. Running in the NBA, running the NFL, that's a business. The NBA needs to get back to work because the NFL at this pace is going to be back to work even though their season's not till September. This is about leadership. You don't have to like Goodell. He's doing a better job than Adam Silver.